and that talks about the meteorological career path. That was also one of the expectations that people were presenting. There's a lady who talked about the fact that she feels she would have been a meteorologist. So I think this is a lesson for you, and a lot of us will pick from that. I think a lot of us thought it was all about geography, including myself. When I reached, I had things like atmospheric chemistry. I'm like, it was hard enough that we were doing the ground chemistry. How are we going to get the one in the atmosphere? So it's challenging, but good enough. We have Mr. Joseph here, who will be taking us through that session. And well, without further ado, Mr. Joseph, please.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Yes, Executive Director, and directors, and our staff, our invited guests. My name is Joseph Kiwuuwa Balikuddembe, and I'm going to do a presentation as it appears on the program. Since we are limited of time, I'm trying to do it a little bit faster. In case I lose track, like getting hits on the slides, we are going to share these reading materials. Thank you. So I'll just have this as one of my slides, and I'm not going to talk about it. The purpose of this workshop is to bring all stakeholders together to harmonize the teaching of meteorology concepts for science-based courses at all levels. We are looking at secondary, senior secondary, vocational, and tertiary schools. With these specific objectives, we look forward to sensitizing stakeholders on the meteorological best practices and how they can apply the knowledge of weather and climate services into different sectors of the economy. So we look forward bringing stakeholders together, that is teachers. Among us, we have invited people from the National Curriculum Development Center. I'm expecting them from now, the workshop. Ministry of Education, Uganda National Examination Board, NGOs, and one forum for us to share ideas on the teaching of meteorology. Because as WUNIMA, we know, unless we prepare these stakeholders right away from schools, we don't have business. Because it is these people that will be customers that are following them. Our objective of this workshop is to sensitize teachers and other stakeholders on the use of weather and climate products. So among the presentations that we are going to have, we are going to learn how we get the information that WUNIMA gives outside, how we get it into the day-to-day activities of the school. For example, when you are making a school timetable, how do you factor in the daily forecast? How do you factor in a seasonal forecast? So we are also going to enhance something that we started way back in 2015. That is the idea of the meteo climate clubs that people are asking about. Part of the meteo climate clubs, we shall also enhance the idea of the competitions in schools. Somebody among the expectations mentioned about the painting competition that we had, that we never concluded. And then we had the quiz competition ahead of the World Meteorological Day celebration. So we are looking forward to enhancing such interventions as a way of improving weather and climate services. Without wasting time, I'll right away go to popularization of meteorology in schools program, which I believe it is not something that is new to, if I may say all of us, all majority of us. Is it something that is new, all of us? So before proceeding, I thought I would recognize some of the people of the POMS team. Wherever you ask, stand up for recognition. POMS team. POMS team, Doreen. And then the schools that you have visited. Teachers, if there is your school and you visited it, you can also stand up for recognition. There are others that are not standing. I'm one person who knows almost everyone in this team. We know each other, isn't it? All right. Oh, so what we do, popularizing meteorology schools, it is about creating awareness about this subject of meteorology. Okay? The ultimate goal is to help these learners, in particular in senior 3 and senior 5, to take informative decisions. Okay, for example, while selecting subjects at their O level, at the same time while selecting subjects at their A level, to know that maybe after, by me selecting physics and math, it is leading me to a career in this particular field. We also, so in so doing, we are improving the understanding and the interest in weather and climate change. So one of the biggest obstacles that we face, we the practitioners within the weather and climate field, is the understanding and the interest. Most people, wherever we go, they don't understand us. They say, that's an abstract science. So when we go to these learners, talk to them, and when we talk to them, they are able to go back and talk to their parents. And once they talk to their parents will understand the information, will move on. So also look at sensitizing pupils, these pupils and students and their teachers, on how to undertake a career in meteorology. Most people don't know. Before we started this program, most students, before we go there, when we ask them a question, for example, about meteorology, and which subjects are they supposed to be in order for them to undertake a career in meteorology, majority will tell you geography. But in actual sense, the answer is not geography. It's something else. So these are the guys, these are the pupils after O level. After their O level, they drop certain subjects, but then when they reach at A level, they are like, I'm into this career path where they cannot enter. So we look forward, sensitizing these people and students and their teachers on how to undertake a career in meteorology. And this is what we call the meteorology career pathways. What are those options? What are those pathways in which you can take in order to become a meteorologist? So we also look forward leveling ground for creation of the meteoroclimate clubs in schools as a basis, because when we go for the popularizing meteorology in schools, we do it actually once in the quarter. The quarter in our work arrangement is 4 months. So only go one time within the quarter of 4 months, and then in a year it's like three times. 3 times, because we are affected by other factors already and whatsoever. So you may find you cannot reach out to almost everybody. But what if after our visit, the engagement is continuous? And that is the policies behind the meteoroclimate clubs. So also look forward to disseminating weather and climate information services, and so are the reading materials. So we have different reading materials that we publish and the Directorate of Training and Research. And I believe we have made good use of those reading materials. Have we? Teachers, schools where we have visited, have we made good of those reading materials? Can I get a yes? Yes? Yes, so we give out those reading materials, okay? So the purpose is we come, we interact with these learners, we give them the reading materials, and later on we go. Then we'll let you put the books in the library. And once you put these books in advise you to go back in your library. We gave out this book. This book, it is where, a quick look on where. We also gave you FAQ, frequent asked questions on weather and climate. Go back, pick that book, read it, and then it is going to help you teach those new topics that are emerging within the new curriculum. And also let's make use of the WhatsApp group in case you need any other reading material. You can always share in soft copy. So under POMS, take less time on this slide. This is one of the questions that we ask students, how weather affects you. And here I want to demonstrate. Students give different answers pertaining this, how weather affects you. This is something that is not obvious. When you ask such a question, these students will answer you like, maybe they give answers connected to agriculture, but without giving answers that is affecting them in their day-to-day life. So it is very important for us to engage teachers, to engage with the schools, okay? So some other person asked, how do I get my school involved? Actually, we don't have a specific criteria that this is the school that we go to. It is always open, okay? But we keep on to balance going to different regions. For example, this time around, if we go to central Uganda, next time we can go to eastern Uganda, the other time. And the criteria is we keep on selecting schools. Okay, we mix up those schools that are well off and those schools that are hard to reach. Hard to reach, like the state schools, the government school, we mix up together with those schools that are well off. Like schools like Gayaza, they are well off, everybody knows. Schools like Budo, who have been there, but we've also been to Chisolo. Traveling to Chisolo can take you longer than any other part of Uganda. I've been so as I don't remember the name of this school.
The school by that time was Kavan.
Kavan, as far as Kavan. So what you need to do, you can always reach out to us. Like I understand you visited the people who never visited Wamatovu. But if we happen to visit, we shall still do it. So who's a meteorologist? This is a common question that we ask students. Who's a meteorologist? Who's a meteorologist? Yes, we can make it. We can just share and go through the things very, very fast. Who's the meteorologist teachers according to you? Yes?
I think someone who has interest and pays much attention to the issues of weather and the climate.
Somebody who has attention, but as an answer, remember we are dealing with a profession. Okay? We are dealing with the what? A profession, and to know how you become a profession. How do you?
Someone has the interest, then he studies and focuses on career path in terms of weather and climate aspects.
So this is somebody who has interest. Do we agree with him? Do you agree with him that this person has interest? What we need to ask ourselves, how do I become a profession? You go to, you don't go to where there is Musa. They don't train engineers from there, nobody should lie. And an engineer that went through material is different from that went through Musa. So you have to go to, so a meteorologist is this person, okay, has had specialized training, okay, and that training has enabled the person to understand, observe, and is able to forecast the Earth's atmospheric phenomena. Okay? First of all, the person is able to understand, and then is able to observe. And observing the atmosphere is one of the areas that we have in the field of meteorology, and then is able to forecast. Is able to do what? Forecast. Which word do we use in Uganda to mean forecast? There is another person who can translate in another language. You have this one, and then some other people have interpreted it differently. That uteleza means what? Yes, indeed. Is it true? But in this case, because this person is a professional, the person has been trained, the person has been what? To observe and informatively. It does what? Informatively predict or forecast what is going to happen next. So if that person, if that is the person, then that person qualifies to be called the what? Meteorologist. You see? So by understanding, observing, and then being able to predict, they call to some specialized levels of training. They call for hard work, isn't it? Okay, so that's the meteorologist. I was looking around for photos of our meteorologists at our National Meteorological Center in Tebe, and that's what I managed to get. And that kind of work is done in Wonima, it is done at Entebbe. Okay? Yes, sometimes you feel there is certain understanding within you people. When you talk about Wonima, then you mean Entebbe. But that is our National Forecasting what? National Forecasting Office. It is where the data forecasts are made. Okay? Faster. So which kind of subjects are you supposed to do? So at O and A level, somebody has to do a combination that has physics, mathematics, those two. Then they can add on their chemistry, they can add on their biology, but the core one is a what? And you ask yourself why. Who can guess why? Physics teachers, why? Physics and mathematics teachers, people handling physics paper 2. Somebody handling paper 2. You can answer me why. Paper 2 man, why?
So when you look at the mathematics, there is a lot of data analysis. You analyze data. So that's why math is related. And also when you look at the correlation coefficient and so on, that's the area of math. Then for physics, there is physics of atmosphere. We just been testing obviously in particular. So that's why physics is also.
Yes, we are emphasizing physics and math because of one reason. We are talking about the dynamics of the what? And that foundation is made in physics paper 2, mechanics. Is it physics? Is it paper 2? Paper 1. It's paper 1. And mathematics paper 2. That's where they study mechanics, which foundation is built on Newton's laws of motion. Okay? So it is more important here. And such subjects are not covered in geography. So in the next talk, so we shall have 2 power presentations here. One on why physics and math. Okay? Not geography. Not geography. And then you ask yourself, is geography important? Yes, geography is very well. Because it has those courses, those topics like physical meteorology. My senior here, she's an expert on geography. Okay? She will tell you how physical meteorology connects to physics, and why when a physics teacher sits with a physical geography teacher, things are going to get done well. So upon successful completion of A level, somebody can enroll to do a Bachelor of Science degree in meteorology. This is at Makerere University, Department of Geography and Geoinformatics, School of Environment. From successful completion of the course, one qualifies to be called a meteorologist by World Meteorological Organization standards. I think that one career pathway is done. Do your O level, do your A level, go for university, NLO. There are always lots of government and private. Is that home? There is one other way. One can choose to go and do these other courses, like physical sciences, where we have all engineering courses. Electrical, what else? Including environmental science, mechanical, computer science, what else? Electrical engineering, and upon successful completion of the course, you become a meteorologist. What do? You have to enroll for a postgraduate in meteorology or a master's degree in meteorology and takes you to the same career pathway. That is a what? Meteorologist. Is that career pathway home? And this one applies to you teachers. You can be there, like you want to become a meteorologist. Then you ask yourself, you must have had sciences at your A level, and those sciences are qualifying you into a physical science course, and then into a postgraduate for a master's degree in meteorology. Then there is another career pathway that is for people who completed A level, but they are not joining university direct. You can go and do a diploma. We have what we call a National Meteorological Training School at Entebbe. Have you heard about it? Teachers, have you heard about the National Meteorological Training School? When students are filling JAB forms, JAB. You know JAB forms? Joint Admission Forms. Most students don't want to fill them. They don't want to fill the JAB, right? The JAB forms apply for A level, excellent grades, and then university. But here, this somebody, instead of staying in the village, and then the person is going to go and enroll, does a diploma, and then successful completion. This person, when he gets to Munima, is going to be a weather forecaster. They're going to take up that role of the weather forecaster, and their role is going to be now also to forecast. Also to do what? To forecast the state of the atmosphere, but under the supervision of a full meteorologist. Are we together? Then, after that, you can upgrade. So you have teachers who start like doing a diploma in education, isn't it? Then after that diploma in education, you can enroll and do a degree. It is in the same manner. After you are doing a diploma, you can enroll and do a degree. Still, this Bachelor of Science degree is necessary, so you become a meteorologist. There is also another category of people. These people were ill-advised. They are in O level, but you did arts. You did what? Then you get a change of mind. That is one category. Okay? But you first your physics and math very well at O level. But you want a change of, can I get this meteorology? Then you are going to enroll for meteorology at the same school, National Meteorological Training School, Entebbe. And on successful completion, this person becomes a weather observer. Are we together? And he can climb the academic ladder. Weather observer, weather forecaster, and then how many career pathways? How many career pathways so far? I've given 4 pros, actually. Yes. So Juliet, now you know how to become a meteorologist. It's a long journey. So I try to summarize those things in this slide. All the career pathways. This is the summary of all the So we shall share the slides. And I'm optimistic now that we are able to advise well our learners on which career path to take as far as the field of meteorology is concerned. Can I get a big yes? Yes. We proceed? Right. So students ask us a question: what are the employment prospects as far as the field of meteorology is concerned? I thought I would talk about it. That shall we get employed? In my next slides, I'm going to give about the technological advancement as far as the field of weather is concerned. Then we shall get to know how these fields has been merging and entering other fields. But these are the direct one. Working as a meteorologist, a weather forecaster, and a weather observer at meteorological centers across the globe. Good enough, we have one in Uganda. When we talk about meteorological centers in Uganda, is the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. In Kenya, there is one. In Tanzania, there is one. In every country, there is the National Meteorological Center. Then, universities as researchers, teaching and consultants at universities. Those vacancies are common. Media, as my friend here. I don't know if you see her on TV. And you ask yourselves, only if I'm not asking for services. So you ask yourself, which kind of courses did she do? People like swagger. Which kind of courses like this? They will just have swagger. You are great. Which kind of courses, okay, that you can do in order to see yourselves on TV, to see yourselves, so you can go and specialize in broadcasting meteorology. Something is coming up, having a meteorologist. People are talking, every now they are talking about having a meteorologist at local government, at every district. This is something that is coming up. And it is most likely going to create jobs more than what the meteorological field has as far as Uganda is concerned. Why? Every now and then, weather planning services are becoming more vital to people's lives, okay? As far as agriculture is concerned. So every now and then, people keep on demanding, and UNIMA is demanding to have a meteorologist employed at each of the local governments. Then some other thing that is coming up that is going to create jobs is the commodity and insurance business, construction, transport, air navigation. You cannot navigate the air without what? But also road transport is being affected by what? Because heavy rainfalls will lead to extreme floods, and you are not able to cross. And we have had people losing their lives. If they had the weather forecast, then you know when the power is too much, that road is a no-go zone. Okay? Then this disaster preparedness, government and civil society organizations. Names, am I still doing well as far as that is concerned? Let me summarize. So that is the employment prospects as far as meteorology is concerned. So when you are talking to these learners, try to focus them into the future, okay? That maybe after finishing this course, their chances of getting the jobs, because for us when we are there, they ask us, shall we get jobs and jobs there? And then the unfortunate thing is this learner interacting somewhere with this person who was not well prepared, finished school and never got a job. And then this person will say, very many people who are educated than the few ones. So I thought in my presentation I'll go through the technological advancement in the field of meteorology to point out a few things, and I didn't go far. I just started from the 19th century. Where does this meteorology came from? So in the 19th century, weather forecasting originated with the standardization of maritime data. You know about maritime data? Maritime data. You know about it? That is data. It's data about what? Seals at the coasts. You know the whites, they like so much to set along coasts, okay? And they like to wage their wars along those areas to attack their enemies. So at a point in time, somebody said that was in 1860, this wise man started issuing warnings for Syrians off the coast of the United Kingdom. And 1 year later, this person was able to generate the weather forecasts. But the kind of forecasts that were forecasted, that were being released, were not sufficient enough, and it provided grounds for introduction of what we call the electric telegraph, to bring about transmission of data from one place to another. However, it was clear that the kind of implementation that was done did create what we call a uniform system for meteorological observation using data from large areas. These people discovered that in order for them to work, they cannot work in isolation within their coast within the UK. In order for them to release certain good observations, they need some data from other parts of the country. And what they did, they convened what we call the International Meteorological Congress in 1873, and it was in Vienna. And then it became rational, and this one became a rationale for what became the World Meteorological Organization. And to have a world network of meteorological observations, they agreed, they made these resolutions, we should have a network of meteorological observations. That what is done in UK, let us have the same thing in Germany, let us have the same thing in Russia, okay? Because they realize that the weather for Russia affects UK, the weather for UK affects Russia. So they were like enough exchange of observation between nations. And then that led into international agreements. Then they had what we call standardized observation methods and units that they should use in order to create free exchange of data. So the early days of the International Meteorological Organization, after that Congress, they formed the International Meteorological Organization. It was slow but steady improvement in meteorological instruments. There were efforts to develop a wide network of meteorological stations. Then they have what they call their polar years for research. The first international polar year established observation stations. They keep on establishing stations in order to increase the coverage. And then the second polar year of 1832 to 1833 demonstrated how observations in the polar region would improve the accuracy of forecasts in other parts of the world. You know where polar regions are? By the way, in this 19th century, Africa was not yet involved. We are not mentioned anymore. The Bazungus are doing their things. So after the 19th century, we moved into the 20th century, where we had big meteorological advances and also new demands for international cooperation. And this was shown repeatedly during both the First and the Second World War. When you read the history of the First, Second World War, it was most influenced by weather most of the successes, most of the defeats were affiliated to who has access to the weather that is going to happen. Okay? And that created room for the relevance of meteorological services. The structure and what it meant was they discovered that the structure of the International Meteorological Organization was no longer sufficient. An International Meteorological Committee meeting in 1944 adopted a draft for the World Meteorological Convention, which was eventually signed. So, because people would meet, they discovered that maybe you also need Africa, we need to enlarge, we need to open up, okay? That one explains to the relevance that with meteorological services, you cannot sit in your room. You need to exchange data with other countries. So we had what we call the World Meteorological Organization getting into place. And after the end of the World War II, and there was rebuilding of the economies and the boom in maritime and air transport ushered in an expansion of observation and telecommunication capabilities on land and sea and air. But there were large gaps. So the International Geophysics year, fiscal year 1957, tried to fill these gaps, but we are with coordinated push for observation covering the entire surface of the Earth. The meteorological program included measurements of the solar radiation. So you see now, it all began from making observations, but now we are getting new fields like the solar radiation. Then atmospheric ozone is coming into play. And then issues of the ozone layer came into play, okay? And people were started talking about how can we protect it. So we are still into the 20th century. So technology took shape, and we had what we call the meteorological satellites, okay? And these marked the beginning of a new era. So observation data average for the whole globe. Are we there? That's the history. Now we are into that. Having a satellite up in the air, its purpose is not to spy another country. But its purpose is to do what? Is to capture the meteorological data, to create that bit of coverage after trying installing stations without improving the levels of accuracy. So still we had, so these ones, they produce meteorological observations over land and sea and from space. And they level the grounds for preparation of weather forecasts and warning and exchanging information global and in real time in a free and unrestricted manner. And then there came what we call the World Weather Watch. The World Weather Watch, which laid the foundation for more modern scientific insights and the technological advances. Actually, around the coming of the World Weather Watch, it was still the coming of the World Wide Web. It was the pre-entry for the World Wide Web. I've heard about the World Wide Web, which we call the Internet now. So it provided more scientific insights and technological advances in computing. Okay? Now we are bringing in the concepts of what? Computing, then telecommunication, satellite, and then it led to what we call the Global Climate Observation System, and then the Global Ocean Observation System. So later within the 20th century, we had what we call the development of the numerical weather prediction models. In one of the presentations, we shall have the numerical weather prediction what? So who can trace the trend, how the things are moving? From capturing single data from observation stations to, who can guess? Who can tell us? We first captured the data, and then what went on next? They realized the data sets were not enough, Then they develop state lab. Then after capturing data set, I say, like, I need more computing, we need to process this data. We need telecommunication, we need to traverse this data. Instead of using telegram from Europe to Africa, can we just transfer the data electronically? So later, within the 21st century, we had the numerical weather prediction models, okay? And these ones, they provided sufficient progress in satellite technology. They would get an insight. They applied their physics into the real meteorology. Because at first, a normal human being would sit and code all plot observations on the chart. But in this case, they get a computer, does the analysis, applying the physics of the atmosphere. And this one opened up new dimensions, allowing meteorologists to apply with great accuracy as far as the weather-related data to serve society. So, but through that, I'll go through that. People face some challenges. I'm going to use a few minutes. I understand this is running out of time. So there were some challenges because as certain interventions were being put afloat, storms, floods, droughts, and other extreme weather would come and kill people, destroy their property. And here I quoted in 1970, it opened up a series of severe weather events, including terrible drought in Africa. And that created some bit of awareness. It created some bit of thrust for meteorology into the public. People started appreciating, hey, maybe we need these meteorological services. Okay? And we had things like people getting to watch the forecast on TV and radios. Listen to the forecast on TV and radios. And if really you trace back, this is what is actually happening in Africa. Really, the way we are more like, we are not concerned. We can get a downpour and then life moves on, okay? Until when you plant things outside their season, you make serious losses. That's when you discover, hey, what if I integrate the seasonal what? The seasonal forecast. And that led to what we call the WM cyclone program. I will leave these ones in the slides, you read on your own. And then the water decade, known as the water drinking water supply sanitation. So we get weather meteorological services leading to other fields like oceanography, hydrological services, climate predictions, water resource management, and security in the intervening decades. Then the need for those services has increased as the challenges for water-related hazards and security has grown. So within the field of weather, history has it that the public has been pushed into taking on the services because of the emerging challenges. And then the concept of climate change moved closer to center in 1970 and 1980s as a result of the concern that increasing greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere from human activities would lead to major challenges within the climate. And in 1976, WMO issued the first statement on climate change. So now we can understand how meteorology links to climate change. Are we able? Are we able? Climate change is coming into play because of what? Concerns for greenhouse gases that are emitted. You know the greenhouse gases? Eh? While you are burning your garden there, you want to plant things, you burn this much. Eh? Then you got that thing that goes into the what? You are contributing to the what? The gases you are contributing to, you are destroying the ozone layer. So people became concerned. That's how climate change gets into action. Are we together? And then, so there are very many research programs. There are very many things that you can read about the World Climate Research Program. And then we had what we call the Interpanel on Climate Change, which is the convention for the UK, for the UN. And challenges.
Well, you have less than 5 minutes.
I'm going to use it. So within the 21st century, you read this. So I want to talk about the future. The future, okay? Because we are still in the 21st century, and what does the future hold? There is an increased demand for weather and climate and water forecasts. You agree with me? You agree with me? There is an increased demand for weather, climate, and water forecast information in support of decision making. Okay? It's likely to rapidly increase in the coming years. Is it coming? The generation and provision of this weather, climate, and meteorological services has been revolutionized. Things are changing, okay? By supercomputers, satellite, remote sensing technology, smart mobile devices. You just don't have to wait for the TV. You can press a short code. Start 201 Earth, then you're able to get forecasts right away from morning in real time. That is the future now. The future is getting information to us in real time. Are we together? And it is increasing the accuracy of the forecasts. People, let's read the forward. The daily forecast is accurate up to around, for 3 hours, up to around 98%, if not 99, if not, and sometimes 100 watt. That means you can rely on to make your own DC. Because the shorter the forecast, the 6-hour forecast is always accurate up to 80, between 8 and 100. But if you read it and you feed it with the 3-hour, you are going to realize that it is always within the same range. The seasonal forecast still is able to predict up to given levels of accuracy, not outside the range. And that's what the future holds. To have access to information, and it's within our limits to consume such information. Thank you so much.